Chamberlain, Chamberlain. His name was Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain, Chamberlain. His name was Wilt Chamberlain. He played basketball. That is all I know. He played basketball. Something, something, crow. Wilt Chamberlain. He played basketball. That I know. It's Comics and Shots, a completely improvised semi-comedic musing by Howard Stern's Mick the Nerd, aka YouTube and TikTok's Mick the Man, aka Mick the Maverick, aka someone who's really hoping on an onion. Today's subject... Itchy nose. Chris Condon's Green Arrow. You should read it. You should read it. You should read it. Also, Green Arrow All In. It's really good. Oh boy. Yeah, it's after all the crazy, Swayze, like, cosmic Green Arrow stuff that was going on in the Williamson run. I'm pretty sure it's Williamson, but not Williams, but I swear to God that guy's last name changes every other day. Yeah, it's back to basics. He's in Star City and looking into the freshwater killings. Yeah. Where the executives of this company called Horton Chemicals, which I think was canon before this, I'm not sure, are all being slowly murdered one by one by being drowned to death. And they all have like messed up chemicals in their bodies post-mortem. Yeah. Horton Chemicals is also a company that Oliver Queen owned for like 5 seconds before selling it. And by 5 seconds, I mean business 5 seconds, like a few months. So technically the blood of what happened is also on his hands. It is with here that we go into spoiler territory and also into some rather realistic, dark, tragic stuff. So if you don't want to be spoiled on Chris Condon's Green Arrow, it's very recent, stop the video here now. Also, borderline trigger warning, because it gets dark. This story gets dark. You think that Batman gets dark? Green Arrow got darker. It got real. It got real, baby. It got political in a good way. Not political in a really self-serving, go fuck yourself Russia kind of way, like in Chip Zdarsky's Batman. And the weird thing is, I actually agree with the sentiment of that book, but also, once again, it felt really self-serving. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Also, I feel like I'm being too critical about Chris Zdarsky's final arc. Was it too self-serving? Was he actually making a point? These are questions. Back to Green Arrow. So yeah, he looks into the murders, the freshwater killer murders, and one of the people he thinks is the main killer was one of the people poisoned during in this like Horton house, like a low-income community, where it's like everybody bought houses there because they were really cheap. Not knowing that Horton Chemicals was pumping, like, dumping chemicals into the water, causing massive health defects and birth defects with the children. Like, the luckiest bastard is the kid born with a deformed ear. One kid, like epilepsy, second rows of teeth, cancer, all of that. And, you know, it's so dark because shit like this actually happens, and it's like, you just feel like you feel bad for the villain because ultimately they just want to be known, want to get their revengeance, because the whole thing was just swept under the rug. They just threw a smittance of money at the problem and just buried it. No one knew about it except for the executives and the people who lived there, but people who live there, they still live with the poison inside them, and they want people to know about freshwater, that the freshwater kills. Oh, yeah, that's the name of the place, Freshwater. I thought it was Horton Houses. But yeah, Freshwater, yeah. Shit like this happens. And, you know, as much as you want to see Green Arrow save the day, you also just Can't help but feel bad for the villains in it, the antagonists, because, they just want people to know what happened ultimately and want to get back on the people that poisoned them, caused their children to be deformed, and worse. Shit like this happens, and I'm really glad Chris Condon, was able to put this in a comic book that feels real and not self-serving, and yeah, it's good. Yeah. And to compare it to Chip Zdarsky's story, where it's like a Russian infiltrated, like the KG Beast infiltrated the American GCPD in order to undermine it, it's like interesting, kind of, but also like it feels too on. It somehow felt too under the nose and not as emotional enough compared to this, where it's all about people just wanting to be seen. Yeah, there's a way to do politics in comics, and Chris Condon is doing that way with his Green Arrow run. I love it. Can't wait to see how the story concludes. Can't wait to see what other stories he has next. With that, like, comment, and subscribe. Doing it if you're feeling nice. Share it with a bear. And always remember, praise be to the Blood Elk, fear the Stepopotamus, and death to Kronos. Also, it's pretty much a Green Arrow solo Ollie story. Not so much a Team Green Arrow book, but that has its pluses too. Have a night, folks.